Hi guys, my name is Esty Elias, co-host of Keeping Up With The Chaldeans. I have my co-host Anthony Toma here, and we have Valerie Dado and Nick Carignan with 8 Mile Barbell, and we've got competitive Olympic lifting that we're going to talk about today. So Valerie's actually Anthony's cousin, so we always have that Chaldean cousin connection.
Yep.
And we just want to hear all about...
Nick's my cousin too.
Oh.
So somewhere down
my new cousin.
Honorary Chaldean.
Yeah.
But yeah, just want to kick us off with like how you met Nick and how you got into this whole lifting world.
So I actually started CrossFit about 4 or 5 years ago now. And then our old gym closed, and then a bunch of friends went into look into 8 Mile and kind of see what was going on and everything like that. I actually emailed Nick, went over everything that we talked about, things, changes, all that fun stuff. And then pretty much he became my coach right away. Like, you were the one that took over everything on my end. I was going through some things too. So there was things that he specifically had to know and take care of. And then after that, I think we did one barbell class, and I was like, let's do it.
Well, yeah, I remember you came in and talked and weren't even sure if you wanted to join or start back up.
Yeah.
And then obviously 45 minutes later, you decided to start back up.
What's a barbell class?
So we have 3 times a week. It's barbell. It's basically barbell. That's what it is. So it's basically strictly just 2 lifts. You're focusing on your snatch and you're focusing on your clean and jerk. Both of those are very technical lifts as well. So all of them have different ways of doing them. There's actually pretty much barbell in that hour and a half, right? We do it.
Yeah.
And that hour and a half is learning the different techniques about it. So
there's powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting, which are 2 different sports. Mm-hmm. Powerlifting is going to focus on bench press, squats, and deadlifts. Olympic weightlifting, which is what you'll see at the Olympics, is the snatch and the clean and jerk. So totally different sports, but in different movements. Powerlifting, you're going to see much higher numbers. Olympic lifting is much more finesse and technique involved in moving the loads.
And how many people have you put through the process of trying to qualify for the Olympics?
So the actual Olympics?
Yeah.
None, because especially in the U.S., there's not too many heroes in weightlifting. Mm-hmm. But you get other countries where, like China and Bulgaria, where that's one of their main sports, where in the U.S., football, basketball, like that's where you get your heroes. That's where people kind of chase the stardom and the payday. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the U.S., that's coming along and it's getting way better.
Yeah.
2 Olympics ago, we only had qualified 1 person as a nation. Mm-hmm. This past, I believe it was 7 or 8 in the past Olympics. And we had a couple people medal. So in the U.S., if you haven't started by the age like 14, 15, mm-hmm. for the actual Olympics, you're behind the game.
Gotcha.
But there's a big scene locally for local meets and then national meets where like the Arnold Classic and nationals and stuff, and those are all kind of step stages mm-hmm. to the world stage.
Very cool. What are some of your goals in doing this?
I have number goals right now.
Okay. Let's go through them one at a time.
Well, great. Well, we have a meet August 6th, and I have my 2 numbers on there. Mm-hmm. He doesn't tell me my numbers because if I think about my numbers, I get...
She psychs herself out.
Yes, exactly. So my snatch, which is the one that was just on there, the one that just goes overhead, straight overhead, mm-hmm. Which he can explain all the technical stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Is, I think, what do I want, 100 to 105 on August 6th? And then hopefully I want at least 130 to 135 for my clean and jerk as well.
Your current PR is 98?
Yep, 98 for my snatch and 125 for my clean and jerk.
So what's changed from the what did you call the first?
CrossFit.
CrossFit. So you're doing CrossFit. Now you're doing this weightlifting. What's the difference in
which you still do both?
I still do both.
Okay.
Yeah. CrossFit is more. Can I let you answer that one?
Yeah.
General fitness.
Yep.
Yeah.
CrossFit's goal is to be well-rounded in all the aspects of fitness. Like, for example, you might not have someone that runs a 4-minute mile, mm-hmm. which is incredible, but we might have some people run 6 or 7-minute miles and have a 400-pound deadlift.
All right.
So that's still very good for an everyday person. So well-rounded fitness is CrossFit. Olympic weightlifting is much more specialized into just focusing on those two movements
Mhm.
and then building everything around those to improve those two things.
And
That's a sport specific.
Gotcha. And then talk a little bit about the gym, just a little background about the gym and kind of promote it a little bit.
So we opened CrossFit 8 Mile back in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we started with 15 clients and a couple classes, and it's grown organically.
Who's we?
Me and my wife.
Okay.
Me and my wife, Monica, opened it up, like I said, 2013. Barbell Club came later on down the road once we started building some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But myself and some other coaches started competing in weightlifting, and that's when the following started to build. And then that's when we started its own entity of 8 Mile Barbell. And it's really gradually taken off. But then the last year, it's exploded.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is
So
cool.
it's definitely gone really well. And we have more and more people interested in doing it at all different levels. So in weightlifting, there's all weight classes. So Val only competes against people in her weight class and her gender. And then same thing, there's, I believe, 7 now. They've changed it a couple times, but 7 weight classes for each male and female. And that also includes youth and juniors. So from as early as 9 years old to as old as you want to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to ask each of you, what inspired you? Did you ever see yourself doing this / like what inspired you to get into the whole like gym? Like I know like we talked about Lifetime and
Yeah.
just always being part of that. And then I also want to ask you after what inspired you.
Well, weight loss is always my journey. Weight loss is my goal. It's just something that I fell in love with it. It's my stress reliever. It's my happy place. Everything about that. The gym is my happy place. That's pretty much what I go to de-stress.
Yeah.
CrossFit came when I finished. So I personal trained at Lifetime. Like I had a personal trainer at Lifetime for years. And then one of them was like, you know what? Like I've been lifting heavy for almost ever. And one of them was like, you should try CrossFit. You would probably love it. So this was 5 years ago. I tried one gym, absolutely loved it. Like left Lifetime, did everything there. And then I guess I can bring it up a little bit, but I also I had a huge weight loss journey that I went through and did what I had to do. And then I was like, before that, I was heavy lifting. So it was like, I mean, I guess I can talk about my PRs beforehand. So like prior to my weight loss, I did, like my deadlifts were 315 pounds. My squats were 265 pounds. So my numbers are pretty up there.
Yeah.
And then obviously when you lose weight, you're losing all of that as well. Which is it's not a problem. You just kind of like, okay, it's not there, but you build back up to it.
Yeah.
And then when I came to 8 Mile, we started with CrossFit a little bit and then kind of slowly, gradually got into it because there's some limitations that I had that I couldn't do. And then that got into Olympic lifting. I'm a goal-oriented person, so everything is set as a goal for me. Nick does my programming as well, extra outside of it. So anything, like he knows my goals, I just let him do it, and it's kind of just, where are we at now?
So like when you started, you couldn't do a burpee, right?
Correct.
The burpee is basically go down, chest to the floor, and stand back up. So she didn't have the strength when she started to be able to complete that, going all the way to the floor and standing back up.
Yeah.
And obviously now it's something for years she hasn't had to think about. She can just do.
Yep,
Wow.
that, and then what else have I
Burpees
done?
are my least favorite.
Burpees
thing
are
to do.
everyone's least favorite.
Not too many people like them.
But
But
he
they're effective.
still programs them, so it's fun. Running wasn't a thing for me either
Right.
for a while.
Yep.
And then, I mean, it was to the point where our old gym was like, no, like you don't have to run, don't worry about it, because I didn't like it. Just row or just bike just because. And then started with Nick, and Nick's like, no,
Mhm.
we don't do it.
There's certain things
Yeah.
you get to a certain point in life, like if you're older and your knees are just running just hard on your body, like, okay, that's a little different scenario. But for you, it's still a basic like life function that we can get better and need to get better
Yeah.
at.
And we did. That year, I think I did, 3 5Ks? I
Yeah.
think it was that
That's
first,
amazing.
second year.
I
Yeah.
really admire that because I've like worked with trainers and done all that for years. And you're right. Like if you can't run a mile, like I feel like you should be well-rounded.
Right.
I can't run a mile right now.
Well,
but-
it doesn't have to be fast, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if you need to for some reason, like you should be able to go a mile without stopping or passing out.
Yeah.
Right?
I did, I think my first 5K or even, well, I should say my first mile, I can tell you even truthfully now, I still can't run a full mile just running. But I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I know where to stop. I know what levels to do. I know how to speed walk, like stuff like that.
It's a good training. I agree with you. A lot of people undervalue it.
Right. When you started, you couldn't run 200 meters without stopping.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we did time trials. We literally timed everything until we can actually see and visualize everything.
That's incredible. And then what about you? What inspired you to get in this world of fitness?
So I've always been a gym junkie, gym rat for competitive sports, college sports. And then when I got out of that, I was bouncing around from thing to thing. Until I found CrossFit. And that was where I got hooked because there's no ceiling to it. So no matter when you think you're good, there's other stuff we can keep working on.
Wow.
And so I've been doing that for over 11 years. And there's still things I keep trying to work on. And people can stay it for a long time because it doesn't matter where you're at. We can evolve or change or modify the workout so everyone gets the same level of intensity.
Oh.
That's the big hook for me is it doesn't matter where you're at. As long as you show up, we'll get you the same feeling of the workout as everyone else. For people that we have that want to be competitive in the CrossFit Games or people that just got out of college sports to people that just had knee surgery and looking to have more energy to play with their kids. So that's what got hooked for me is because especially competitive athletes are going to do stuff regardless of my gym existing. But people like Val and people that are just looking for general overall health is what keeps us going and keeps the motivation.
I love that.
That's the cool thing about CrossFit, though, and people don't really understand it is, I mean, but everyone's philosophy on CrossFit is you're going to get hurt. You're doing it too fast. You're going to get hurt. Every single CrossFit class that I've been to prior to meeting Nick, you have, first of all, you can modify every single workout that is possible. Like, I mean, don't you have in every programming, don't we have modifications for everything? Yeah. So like even that, so like it's just funny to see and funny when people talk about it. It's like, how you do it? And I was like, you just get used to it and you just practice what you, like if you can't, for instance, for the burpee, there's so many different modifications of a burpee. Let's do it on a bench so you're not hitting the floor right away. Let's do it on a barbell on a rig. Like there's so many different modifications to be able to do it based on your body type, your ability to do things, your injuries, your everything. And you don't get it. Oh, that's another thing. And I didn't tell him I was going to say it, but I'm going to. The other thing that I've learned differently from being at different gyms is who your coaches are and what your coach, how they coach you. So like, for instance, I'll give a random example, but like if you're doing for Olympic lifting, if you're doing the technique wrong, or you know that it's going to hit something that you shouldn't, literally Nick will be like, put it down. Like he's like, done. He's like, let's redo that. Wow. So like before it even hits that point, and that's in CrossFit as well, before it even hits that point, the second that they're like, nope, let's drop it. Let's try that again. Because you don't want to get hurt working out. You don't want to do all of that. But like, the main focus is on, in my opinion, at least for the last 5 years, have been who your coaches are and how your coaches are coaching. And that's the one thing that we all pretty much love about 8 Mile. And it's who our coaches are.
We have a very diverse staff.
Yeah.
But everyone connects with somebody differently. And so like I'm Val's coach, and then we have Coach Mark who coaches other handful of athletes. We all coach athletes, but some work more closely or individually with others.
Sounds very individualized, which
and
I appreciate.
Once in a while, I'll have someone like, I want to start working with you or working with for extra programming and stuff. And I have a full list, but sometimes we're like, your personality will work better with Kara, Mark, Matt. And so then we'll start working with them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
Can we talk about balls or no?
Do you want to talk about
the protein balls? You had a special
we had a special flair. If I knew there was, I would have brought them.
You're welcome.
No, thanks, Nick. Protein balls are basically something that I just started making. They've been around forever. I've just been playing around with them. And I think one day I made them, I brought them to the gym and everyone's like, what? Like, what is this?
Creative frenzy.
Now?
Yeah. So it's a good workout, competition, or snack in general because it has your main macros of fats, protein, and carbs that don't take a long time to digest, which is, if you're doing multiple workouts a day, is kind of important instead of having a bunch of chicken and rice. It's going to take 2 hours to digest.
Oh, wow. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So protein balls are digested faster?
Yeah. It's just not as fibrous. It's not going to take as long to break down.
Mhm.
And you'll
Okay.
get, and it's, I mean, there's going to be a certain level of sugar in it, which you need in
Yeah,
between workouts kind of thing,
you do.
but it's not in a Snickers bar. So you'll be all right.
Yeah. So basically I made different flavors. I played around with different flavors, and it's pretty much where I've started with them.
So look for them at a gym near you.
Eventually, one day. We'll
What's the best flavor?
My favorite is brownie brittle.
Yeah.
I eat a bag of brownie brittle without trying.
Whoa.
But otherwise, birthday
That might
cake.
take long to digest.
Yes.
That one was all Nick's idea too. So I tried it once at the gym, and I was like, "What is this? Like, what the heck?" And then he goes, "It's brownie brittle. It's at Costco." I literally went to Costco. I was like, "I have the best flavor ever." It's actually Nutella brownie brittle. So the base is still peanut butter, but it's a touch less of peanut butter and more Nutella.
Yeah.
And then basically just mixing the brownie brittle into it and then creating the protein ball.
Otherwise, birthday cake is also really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Birthday
If you're not a
cake.
big chocolate person.
Yes. Birthday
Those sound
cake.
great.
I'm
That's
both
great.
birthday cake
Yeah.
and chocolate.
I'll drop you some one day.
Thank
We
you,
have to
thank
come
you.
to 8 Mile. There'll be some birthday cake and brownie brittle
If,
protein balls.
If you weren't her cousin, but she's going to drop it off from me.
I'll drop
Taste
it.
tester
Since
first.
you're not her
Yeah.
cousin. Yeah. What's your weekly regimen?
Mine?
Yeah.
Good question.
I work out, and I
Let's
sleep.
talk
I'm
about
kidding.
the
I
workout
know.
regimen.
So usually,
Smart ass.
so for barbell itself, barbell is 3 times a week.
Okay.
So it's Monday nights, Wednesday nights, and Saturday mornings. I do both. So on Mondays and usually on Wednesdays, I do.
She wakes up in time.
Correct. I do both. And those are the only 2 days. Oh, sometimes Saturday, but not really that often anymore. I do CrossFit and then break a little bit and then do barbell. Usually my workout schedule is Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are off, and Fridays and Saturdays. And it's just pretty much moving, getting everything done.
So she's one of the few people that do both programs. So it's kind of a matter of intertwining everything so she can keep progressing without having overuse injuries or things complicating one another, right? From
Yep.
the general CrossFit side to the Olympic weightlifting side. So sometimes I'll tell her, I was like, because she likes to space them out, and sometimes I know what the CrossFit side is going to do. If it's going to leave her too pre-fatigued, I'll tell her either do it right after it or we're not going to do it that day.
Yeah.
Since her focus a little bit more right now is weightlifting, since she has a competition coming up,
Mhm.
some other stuff will get pulled out of programming for a little while and then reintroduced. So like we're not running right now because that's hard on her knees.
Mhm.
And when she's done with this competition and if her knees healthy, then we can start to slowly bring that back in. But that's one of those things that is going to cost her more wear and tear than she needs for what her current goals are.
That's dedication right there.
For
I
sure.
mean, just to kind of motivate or inspire others out there that need that extra push. What can you say to them to that makes you get up every single day and do this?
It's going to sound cliche, but honestly, just get up and do it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, put your mindset to it. Create a goal. Get a mindset that it's a mindset that you never want to quit.
Mhm.
One of the biggest things, and I wish I had it, but I don't, but one of the biggest things that I ever thought about was, and this was even prior to anything that I've done, is straight and simple, never give up. Never give up. When I was at my heaviest, never gave up. When I was at my
Why?
lowest.
Why didn't you ever give up?
Why? Because I knew where I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I wanted to do. There's still things that I tell Nick about all the time in CrossFit that I'm like, why haven't I got this yet? Why haven't we worked on
Yeah.
it? And it's like, because we still need, like, there's different parts to it. There's different movements and stuff to
Sometimes there's prerequisites before we do other things.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So you would say you've been consistent, right?
Correct.
Consistency will outlast your motivation.
Wow.
So if you get started no matter where you're at, and you stay consistent, whether you get motivated or not, that's going to ebb and flow, whereas consistency will carry you through the rest of it.
So, like you said, just being consistent, but also the other thing is listen to yourself and listen to your body at the same time. If your body is telling you no, then don't do it. Like, just stop. Motivation wise, grab the people that are going to be there for you. Join a community, be involved. 8 Mile's huge. We do everything as a community, everything that we do. And everyone is there for everyone else. And it's the most amazing thing ever. So be around the people that you want to be around with. Be around like-minded people. I try very hard to stay away from negative people, and that's just to keep a positive mindset as well. So motivation-wise is just set goals. Just be ready to just do it, in a sense. Don't be scared of it. There's always something that you're going to learn. There's always something that you're going to imagine. I remember the days that there was stuff that I couldn't ever do ever in my 5 years of CrossFit. What, a year into doing it with Nick, and I was like, okay, we just got a box jump. Like, I've never done that before. And it was as simple as hanging from the rig and for 2 or 3 seconds. So you surprise yourself every single day, no matter what.
Set goals without a date. Because in fitness, a lot of stuff is going to come into play, whether you're stressed or you're not sleeping or you're working more, but still set your goals and work towards them. But you don't have to have a finite date. So like we never said, okay, you're going to do a full burpee by January 17th. No, but it's one of those things that gradually happens. And when you're doing your fitness journey, as long as you stay consistent, sometimes it's hard to see those little gains because it's hard to see the frame when you're standing inside the picture.
Wow.
But as a coach, I can tell when she's moving better or things are needing to be changed or pushed up a notch.
Yep. Well, it was actually like, speaking of barbell, on Saturday we had one of the coaches, and he was like, which everyone's been telling me, but I haven't obviously been doing it because, you just don't sometimes. Like, engage your lats. So it's the snatch pretty much that you engage a lot of your lats. And I never really, you focus on it, but you don't focus on it because you also want to just get it up there, which you shouldn't have that thought. But then yesterday we did barbell, and Matt looks at me and he was like, whoa. And I was like, what? And he was like, that looked really good. And I was like, Josh, on Saturday, I engaged my lats. And he's like, it looked great, Val. So it's like even feeling and knowing the differences between that as well.
Yep. And the more you go through all this, the more you're going to develop that body awareness. And the longer you're doing it, the more you can focus on certain muscles and movements. Rather than in the beginning, you're just figuring out how to walk with the barbell, right?
So even before you met him, you said you were doing CrossFit for 5 years or so. What lit the fuse like that to get you to start even doing the CrossFit side of things?
What was your epiphany?
My heavy lifting. I enjoyed it so much. I think I was personal training one day, and I've had amazing personal trainers. And one of them, he was like, no, here's a 70-pound kettle. I think I was 15 or 16. And he's like, here's a 70-pound kettlebell. He's like, let's deadlift it. And I was like, no, I can't do that.
looks
and
hard.
Literally started, and he was like, oh, you can't do that? Let's see that again. So getting into that, and then finding the right people, finding the right coaches or trainers, really. I had one trainer that he was more on the cardio aspect of it, and I was like, I want to lift. This is why I don't do personal training anymore. And then that's when I got into CrossFit, and I was like, okay. And then my numbers just started growing from there.
Nice.
So that was the little spark, was my heavy lifting.
So how does someone get into this community that you speak so highly of?
Email, call, stop by.
What are the emails? Stopping by the
Nick.
Email Nick.
Social.
Nick at CrossFit8mile.com. We're on social media for 8 Mile Barbell, CrossFit 8 Mile. Or CrossFit8mile.com is our website. Okay. But really, any kind of way you can reach out to us. And everyone starts slow, and then we ease you in from there. Nice. Especially if you're brand new to it and you've never done anything with a barbell before, you've never done fitness before, or maybe it's been 20 years. We have everyone go through 2 small group sessions to kind of ease you in, get you a feel for what it is. First month of classes is included in that intro process. So, because some people, it's just not what they're looking for. Everybody can do it, but it's not for everyone. So at least they have that first 30 days to see whether it's something they want to do, or, oh, it was nice, but it's cool. It's just not what I want to do.
It's also word of mouth too. A lot of people see it on my Instagram and see it on my snaps, and they're like, where do you go? And I think even I was like, Nick, this person is reaching out. They're going to reach out, blah, blah, look at this. So word of mouth as well too.
So, when your first gym closed, you weren't going to join us, but then a bunch of your friends did and had good things to say about us. So then
exactly.
You emailed me, we set up a meeting just to talk.
Yeah.
45 minutes later, you decided to join.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I tell the story all the time, how did you meet Nick? And I'm like, or how did you whatever? And I'm like, well, number one, the first thing that he did is before, and I think I've told you this actually. I don't know if I did. One of the first things that he did was I had to get the clear to do everything that I had to do, and he knew about it. So when I had said yes originally, the day that I actually watched him coach and talked about things, I was like, all right, I'll let you know how everything goes for my doctor's appointment. And it was the day prior to my doctor's appointment that Nick messaged me, and he was like, good luck with your doctor's appointment. Let me know how it goes. I'm excited to see what happens. And right then and there, I was like, let me just get the fucking clear. Sorry. Let me get the clear to just actually lift, because I know where I'm going. If I have a coach who actually cares that much about what I like my specifics, because there was things that he had to actually look into about things that I was going through. And it wasn't even like a selling point. That was hey, I know where I found our next home. So yeah.
I love like the relationship between you two. I can tell like it's such a positive and just like beautiful. I feel like really, really great.
She thinks I pick on her.
Yeah.
Oh, because you don't, Nick?
I'm just keeping things lively.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's keep it civil, guys.
It's an important relationship. It's
Yeah.
because I am a trainer too, and like, you know, it's a really important coach relationship, life coach, and all of that.
And because like if I didn't care, I wouldn't have done research into what you were going through, and instead of like, you don't fit my typical mold.
Yeah.
I think you need to find someone else.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
You can see you put a lot of care into your work, and you put so much commitment and passion into it.
Thanks.
So we love that.
Yeah.
So I want to ask first, because I've done some of this stuff before. What do you guys do for recovery? Because I feel like it's so important and like underdone.
My recovery lately has been, I actually just got into swimming again. I've been swimming my whole life. So I've done anywhere between swim instructing to swim lessons to swim team. So I love swimming. Swimming is my recovery. I love being in the water. I love doing all that. I also do yoga as well. So yoga is my thing too. And then pretty much just rest.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Biggest thing you do is get enough sleep.
Get enough sleep.
Yeah.
That's the biggest, most cost-free method for recovery.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
But when she does certain workouts, or we know she has certain ailments, that there's certain things, basically compression, increased blood flow to certain areas without taxing the muscles. So we use something called voodoo floss. It's like basically a rubber band that helps flush the muscles and
What?
Never heard of it.
increase the blood flow to your area. Increased blood flow promotes healing.
You take like a rubber band and like
So
snap
it's real wide, so it's like
Okay.
this, and it's like 7 feet long, and we'll wrap it around whatever muscles. So especially
It's
like
compression.
yes,
Oh, okay.
it's compression, and it actually cuts off circulation for a short period of time until you take it off, and then your body overcompensates because it just got the signal that it wasn't getting what it needed. So now there's more because when you take it off, you actually see the area start to flush because that's
cool.
extra blood flow to the area.
How often do you recommend doing that?
So it depends on. I'll use it to warm up sometimes too, just to get things ready to go, and then if I feel like a real tightness or pump just from the workout that I did, that I'll do it afterwards, and just helps the recovery a little bit.
Wow. I learned something new.
Yeah.
I never heard of
we
that.
did too.
Do you do like cryo or cold, what are they called? Like cold baths?
Cold tanks,
Ice baths?
cryogenic
I know.
therapy. There's float tanks. That's all. And I mean, you can do body work like fascial stretch therapy. There's a ton of stuff you can do. Those also come at a premium cost.
They do.
So even
I've learned.
Normatec, so their compression legs and suits, which
seen
you'll
those.
see a lot of endurance athletes use, which are great. It just comes at a cost.
Yeah, I agree. The recovery is expensive.
Yeah.
So,
So like voodoo floss is like $7 a band,
yeah.
and we have
It's
15 of
reusable.
them at the gym. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We clean them and reuse them.
Bring those with the protein balls.
Yeah.
Bring them both. I'll show you guys. Yeah, I do. I personally get massages about
Yeah.
every 6 weeks because that's just what I need to do to relieve my everything.
Yeah.
And they're all sports massages, so it's not like I'm gonna go relax on a
Yeah.
bed. No, I actually get a deep tissue massage every 6 weeks as well.
I don't compete anymore, but I'll get them every once in a while when I know if I have certain things. Like I'll
Yeah.
get a lot of headaches
Mm.
from just years of sports
Yeah.
from my neck. So I'll get, when I feel it's starting to come back up, I'll get work done.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, so we want to thank you both for joining us. We end every show with a question. What does it mean to you to be Chaldean?
It's pretty awesome. Our culture is amazing. What we believe in is strong. What it is like to be Chaldean, it's fun. It's exciting. It's different. I will say that is the question to you.
What does it mean to you to train a Chaldean?
Yeah.
To train
How do you feel
Chaldeans?
about Chaldeans?
It's always going to be a lively conversation.
We're
It is.
conversators.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
this one's special. She's had a mentor, Vivian Fufu, my cousin. That
That's my mom.
Aw, foo-foo.
Yes. Yeah.
she can rap with the best of them.
Yeah.
Aw, That's so
Yeah.
cute. Well, thank you guys so much for joining.
Thank you.
Love what you're doing, and
Thanks for all the
For everyone
info and
out there.
inspiration.
we'll definitely have to visit.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Let's try it.
Thing, competition, me and
Yeah.
Anthony.
Let's go.
Love it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.